In the heart of the Syrian desert, under a scorching sun, a city of unimaginable wealth and splendor rose from the sands. This was Palmyra, the city of palms. And from this city emerged a queen whose ambition was as vast as the desert itself, a woman who dared to carve an empire from the mighty body of Rome. This is the story of Zenobia, the warrior queen of the East. Our story begins in the 3rd century AD, a period historians call the crisis of the 3rd century. The Roman Empire was tearing itself apart. Emperors rose and fell in a matter of months. Civil wars raged, and barbarian invasions gnawed at its borders. It was a time of chaos, but also a time of opportunity. Tucked away on the eastern frontier, between the Roman and Persian empires, was the caravan city of Palmyra. It was a crucial link on the Silk Road, a melting pot of cultures, and a city fabulously rich from trade. The ruler of Palmyra was a man named Odaenathus. He was a Roman client king, loyal to Rome, but with his own ambitions. When the Persian Sassanid Empire humiliated Rome by capturing the Emperor Aurelian in battle, Odaenathus saw his chance. He rallied his forces and inflicted a stunning defeat on the Persians, pushing them back across the Euphrates. For his loyalty and his military genius, Rome rewarded him with the title Corrector of the whole East. He was, for all intents and purposes, the independent ruler of Rome's eastern provinces. And by his side was his second wife, a woman of extraordinary beauty, intellect, and ambition, Zenobia. Ancient sources say she was fluent in Greek, Aramaic, Egyptian, and Latin. She was an avid hunter, riding with her soldiers in the desert, and was said to be even more resilient than them. She claimed descent from the Ptolemaic queens of Egypt, including the legendary Cleopatra, and she carried herself with the air of a true monarch. Then, in 267 AD, disaster struck. Odaenathus and his eldest son were assassinated, likely by a relative in a family squabble. Suddenly, Palmyra was without its strongman ruler. The future of the city and its newfound power hung in the balance. But Zenobia did not hesitate. She immediately stepped into the power vacuum, not as a grieving widow, but as a determined regent for her and Odaenathus's young son, Vabilathus. But Zenobia was no mere placeholder. She was the real power behind the throne. She gathered a court of brilliant scholars and philosophers around her, turning Palmyra into a beacon of culture. But her gaze was fixed on a much grander prize than just cultural prestige. She saw a weakened Rome, preoccupied with its internal struggles, and she envisioned a new Eastern Empire, with Palmyra at its center and herself at its head. The legacy of Cleopatra, the queen who had also challenged Rome, seemed to be coursing through her veins. With her son as the nominal ruler, Zenobia began her audacious plan of expansion. She had a secret weapon, her brilliant general Zabdas. In 270 AD, while Rome was distracted by Gothic invasions, Zenobia made her move. She claimed she was merely securing the province for Rome, but her actions told a different story. Zabdas and the Palmyrene army marched south into the Roman province of Egypt, the breadbasket of the empire. After a short, sharp campaign, they conquered it. The most valuable province in the entire Roman Empire now belonged to Zenobia. But she didn't stop there. Her armies then swept north and west, conquering vast swaths of Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, and the entire Levant. In just a few years, Zenobia had forged a massive empire stretching from the Nile to the Bosporus. She controlled the vital trade routes, the richest provinces, and a significant portion of the Roman military in the east. She was, in effect, the Queen of the East. For a time, she maintained the fiction that she was acting on behalf of Rome. Coins were minted with her son's face on one side and the Roman Emperor Aurelian as on the other. It was a delicate political dance, but Zenobia's ambition could not be contained by such pretenses for long. In 272 AD, she took the final fateful step. She declared herself Augusta, or Empress, and had her son proclaimed Augustus, Emperor. New coins were struck, this time removing Aurelian's image entirely. This was no longer a regional power play. This was a declaration of secession, a direct, undeniable challenge to the authority of Rome and its new, battle-hardened emperor, Aurelian. Aurelian was a no-nonsense soldier emperor, dedicated to reuniting the fractured Roman Empire. He had just defeated the breakaway Gallic Empire in the west. Now, he turned his full attention eastward, his eyes set firmly on the Defied queen in Palmyra. The showdown was inevitable. Aurelian assembled a formidable army and marched east with incredible speed. He wasn't interested in negotiations. He was coming for total victory. Zenobia and General Zabdas met the Roman legions near Antioch. The Palmyrene army was formidable, especially their heavy cataphract cavalry, fully armored riders on fully armored horses. But Aurelian was a master tactician. He feigned a retreat, luring the heavy Palmyrene cavalry into a long, exhausting chase under the hot sun. Once they were tired and disorganized, Aurelian's forces turned and shattered them. A second major battle was fought at Emesa, and again, Aurelian's tactical genius won the day. The Palmyrene army was broken. Zenobia and Zabdas raced back across the desert to the fortified walls of their capital, Palmyra, preparing for a final, desperate stand. Aurelian's legions soon arrived and laid siege to the magnificent city. Palmyra was built to withstand a siege, with massive walls and stockpiles of supplies. Zenobia hoped to hold out until the Persians, her erstwhile enemies, could come to her aid against their common foe, Rome. She even tried to escape the city on a fast camel to plead for help in person, but Roman patrols were everywhere. She was captured near the Euphrates River, her last hope of freedom gone. With their queen captured, the will of the Palmyrene defenders collapsed. The city of Palms surrendered to Aurelian. The great Palmyrene Empire, which had blazed so brightly and so quickly across the east, was extinguished. What happened to Zenobia next is a matter of historical debate. One dramatic account says she was brought to Rome, bound in golden chains, and paraded through the streets in Aurelian's magnificent triumph, a public spectacle of a defeated enemy. This version then has her living out her days in a luxurious villa in Tivoli, her children marrying into the Roman nobility. It's a story of Roman magnanimity. Another, darker version claims she never made it to Rome. Overcome with grief and humiliation, or perhaps falling ill, she died on the journey, refusing to be a trophy for her conqueror. We may never know for certain which story is true, but Zenobia's ultimate fate doesn't diminish her legacy. For a brief, brilliant moment, this queen from a desert city held the fate of the East in her hands. She was a scholar, a politician, and a warrior who built an empire and challenged the greatest power the world had ever known. She defied the conventions of her time and stands as an eternal symbol of strength, intelligence, and defiance. The story of Zenobia is a powerful reminder that even in the shadow of mighty empires, the will of a single determined individual can change the course of history.